Hello, hello. Hello, hello, YouTube audience. This is Erica Joanne from Erica Joanne Art. And today we are going to do another project from our Pups and Portraits book. This will be our 9th dog. We have 12 dogs all together to do, and I'll just kind of go through and show you what we've done so far. So this is the first one that we've done, the Golden Retriever. Cute, huh? And then we did this one. We did this one, and this one has one on the back. We've done that one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So we've done, let's see, 8 all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, because there's 2 on this one. And this kind of shows you how you can adhere your artwork onto a panel. I'm a paint and pencil artist, mixed media. I use both paint and pencil on the same surface. And then we work on watercolor paper that's been etched with the design. So it takes all the guesswork out for you. We try to make artwork easy. It's amazing and so fun. So just follow along. If you've never watched me before, this is a great time to jump on and just watch and see what I do, and then maybe you can join me in the future. We do a piece from the dog book around twice a month, and then the other 2 Thursdays we do other projects. So this kind of gives you an idea. The dog book is on our website and available for sale. It's called Pups and Portraits by Auberry, our daughter, and I'm colorizing them. So fun. So if you enjoy dogs and you enjoy using paint and color pencils together on a surface, you are in the right place, and you can join in with us and have lots of fun. These tutorials are all on my YouTube channel right now as we speak, so you can just look them up and find them if you happen to purchase the book and want to start right now. They are there. Hello, Cheryl. Good morning. And Liz, hello, hello. She says, good morning. Heat index is South Texas, expected to be 124 degrees. Oh, my word. That's a stay-in day. Lots of air conditioning. I hope you can stay nice and cool, Liz. That's really, I would think the air conditioners would be really battle hard to keep up with that heat. That's crazy. Yeah. Yep, staying inside. Oh my goodness, my goodness. Well, it's a nice day here in Washington. We did have a little sad thing happen yesterday. Our radiator started leaking coolant all over the place last night. So we must have either a leak in our radiator or a crack or something going on. So that's going to be happening today. Probably a truck will be coming in and pulling away our vehicle today. And it's our only vehicle. So we are a little, yeah, we're stuck. But we're going to look into our insurance and see what they can do to help us. So if you hear a big truck, just know that's what it is. Okay, so stick with me and I will teach you how to glue the watercolor paper onto wood and make it so it's nice and permanent, and also that it's protected. So even little hands that touch it won't be able to ruin your artwork. Once you get it all protected, you can wash it off actually. The varnish we use is Josanya Matte Varnish, and it is an indoor-outdoor varnish, and it works really good for what we do. So, okay, well, let's get started. I was looking at the different dogs to choose, and like, what do we have left that we haven't done yet? And did we do this one? It seems like we did, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't think we did this one. It's not there. We didn't do that one. Done that one. Oh, and by the way, in this book, there are 2 of each, so that if you want to try again. Sometimes when you do it the first time, you might not like it, and then doing it the second time, it really makes a difference. I've noticed that repeating something over and over, you just get better because you see what you maybe could do better, and then you go in with fresh eyes on the second time around. So that's why we include two. You can always also share with a friend and have them work on a project with you. So there's plenty in here. If I can open my book here. Yeah, we've done that one. There was one near the back that I was kind of like, I think I want to do that one. It was this one. I was thinking we would do this today. So I'll tell you what kind of dog that is. I can find it here. I believe that is, if it's the second from the last. Let's see if there's one under it. Yeah, the second from the last. This is a German Shepherd mix. German Shepherd mix. These are all dogs from the shelter, so they are mostly mixes. Pretty much all of them, except for the Golden Retriever. I think all of them are mixes. Okay, the colors we need, I just did like a blanket color list so that they work with all the dogs, so you don't have to have a ton of different, colors or a different palette for each dog. We're just using the same colors throughout the whole book, and I'll tell you what those are. So I use Josanya paints. Please use what you have. These work really well actually for working with colored pencils. So warm white is one. Rose pink. Love this color. Oh, it's like a nice red. It's great. Let's see. Gotta find my paint. Carbon black. One of my favorite colors. Colony blue. Naples yellow hue. This color is a nice one to have. You can see these colors are so nice and rich and beautiful. Pine green. So did I get them all? Oh, we will have one more, and that is brown earth. So we have 7 colors altogether of the paint that you need. So those are the paints that you need, and then you only need four different color pencil colors. I use Prismacolor Premier wax based. You need a black pencil. You need cool gray, 10%. Let's see. You need a poppy red. And my sienna brown is pretty small. Let's see if I can pull that out here. I have a little tiny sienna brown. That's what you need, those 4 pencils. So gather those things. We do have these things available on our website if you need to go. If you just rather buy them and have them come right to your house, you can order them from our website. Our website is ericajoanne.com, ERIKJOANNE.com. And you can get those items there. But if you want to get them locally, whatever, you can search from that way too. You also need, I like to have like a nice, this is called an oval wash by Josanya. It's a 3/4 inch. Something that's tapered like that is really nice for doing your finishes. And then a round brush, I like a nice round brush. And that's a Josanya number 3. Number 3 or 4 works well. So we'll pull this stuff away. And I'm going to grab this. One thing about your books is they do come with a panel on the back. So you see this panel on the back, and you can tear that panel away and use it to glue your artwork to. We also give you a little easel, which is kind of nice. So it gives you a start anyway for getting some artwork displayed. Yeah, so this is the panel on the back. It's a snap-off panel that you can glue your artwork to. And I like to use both sides of that, so I make use of my wood the best I can. Okay, these all still need to be adhered. I haven't done it yet. But people also like to, I've seen people take a frame that has openings in a mat for 4x4 and they'll just put a bunch of them in there. That works too. So whatever suits your fancy, have fun with it. I hope you enjoy the process. Okay, we'll get our little German Shepherd mix here going on. You can also collect maybe some little small jewels, which are great for adding a little sparkle to your piece. I always like a little sparkle. Okay, I'm just going to pull up a picture for reference. My daughter took some of her own photos, which is kind of nice. Okay. Cute tongue. Okay, I'm just looking around here at her picture. Okay. This dog has more, like the German Shepherd doesn't have as floppy ears that I can tell. So this dog has more floppy ears. It's cute. Okay. All right. We'll get started. We're going to use some black and some browns. We'll do a little bit of both blacks, browns, and maybe some of that Naples yellow hue. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get started with my Naples yellow hue. We're just going to color everything with this first, and then we'll go in and darken some of the areas. And I'll bring you guys down closer so you can see this a little more. A little closer. Maybe less than that. I want you to see the whole page. All right. Good morning, Charmaine. How are you today? Okay, I'm going to just put a little bit of my Naples yellow hue on my palette paper. How's the weather in Oregon? I'm going to water down this paint to a watercolor wash, just to be similar to watercolor. A little bit of water there, water it down so it's nice and transparent. Get it nice and transparent. And you want it to move over your piece pretty good. So like I said, we're just going to go over most everything except for let's avoid the tongue. Let's just avoid the tongue. This will kind of get us started here with our color. Try to stay in the lines. Yep, the car is on the fritz. Darn it. It happens though. We were kind of expecting something would happen soon. Our car is getting older. Okay, bring it on down, but avoid the tongue. We'll do the tongue with our rose pink. Work around it. Naples yellow hue. Oops. Okay. Okay. All right, get all that yellow on there. Rinse out your brush. It's nice to have a little bit of paper towel next to your palette paper. Okay. Let's grab some of our rose pink. We might as well just do that tongue. You only need a tiny little bit. I'm just going to grab some out of my tube with my brush. So I just have a little bit on my palette. Put my lid back on. And also we want to water that color down really well. This color is packed with pigment, so you don't need a whole lot of it. And we want it transparent also. You should be able to see through your paint. Just keep adding water until you can see through it. You can always test your paint on another surface too. Sometimes if you don't have anything, you can just test it on the back there. Okay, let's get that tongue done. I promise that we will finish this book with all the tutorials. So we are working through all of the dogs. So I'm just kind of taking up some of that paint or that pigment with my brush is kind of clean with water. It's just water. Taking up some, so I leave a little bit of lightness to the tongue there. Actually, I'm going to put a little more color right in this area. Okay. Good, good, good. So you have like a nice light pink going on. Okay. All right, our next color we're going to bring in is let's go with our brown earth. Just put a little bit of that on our palette too. I'm just going to grab some out of my tube. See, you can just kind of squeeze it to the top and grab a little dollop. Put it on your palette. So I put mine there. Let's water that down too. All of our washes are going to be watered down similar. Just a little bit of water. You want transparent paint. Looks kind of like watercolor. Okay. Let's see. I'll pull this over here. Okay. Let's go ahead and fill in the ear area. We're just going to repeat our ears with the brown. Okay, when I come up to the top of the ear, I want that color to fade into the yellow area. So that's not really going to cut it. I don't really want a line there, okay? So I'm going to rinse out my brush, kind of take a little of the moisture off on a paper towel, and then go back in and just kind of blend that paint over into the yellow, and see how that line just disappears and it becomes like a gradual color into your yellow. You can just do that with your brush. Okay, we're going to do that on this other ear. Same thing. I had a little too much moisture going on, so I had to take some off on my paper towel. If it's like bubbly with a lot of moisture and you can't really control it, then just take some moisture off on your paper towel. Okay, bring this color up to the top of the ear there. And we're going to blend that over into the yellow. So we're not going to let it just dry that way. We're going to rinse out our brush, rinse it out, take a little of the moisture off on a paper towel, and then go back to your piece and just work on the edge of that brown to soften it and bring it over into the yellow. It's like magic. Sounds like a beautiful morning there, Charmaine. So you missed one of the dogs, saw the brown and black one, and don't think I did it. We'll have to check maybe when you're down at the beach. Yes, they're all there. Just check my YouTube channel. The dogs that I've done so far are all on my YouTube, and there should be about 8 of them. Okay. The cool thing about the Josanya paints is they are, you can kind of like reconstitute them a little bit if it's not super dry. Once it gets dry and flaky, then you can't reconstitute it. But if it still has a little bit of moisture in it, you can still add water to it and reconstitute the paint. Okay, let's bring some of the brown. Let's put some on the forehead, kind of coming down to the nose. So I'm just going to do like a patch on the forehead, like so. Bring that color down. We're going to soften the color up there. And then let's just bring it down to the nose. We'll just kind of like do this kind of thing. Okay, put some color in there. Now let's go back. I'm rinsing out my brush, taking a little moisture off. I'm going to go back to this line up here before it gets too dry. And I'm going to soften that edge. Just do that kind of thing. Soften the edge. Okay. The sides, I don't know that I need to soften those. Okay, because I think I'm going to be adding more color to the sides here. I want to bring the brown all the way down here, though, underneath the nose. We're going to repeat some of this with black, too. We're just getting the base colors done for our dog. And then we'll go in with some pencils and do some shading. So I brought that brown all the way down to just above the tongue. And then we're going to also want some of the brown just on the sides of the cheeks. So I'm going to bring some down this way. I love how my daughter did her whimsy with her lines. It's pretty neat. I love all her little whimsy markings. Very whimsical. Okay, let's bring some brown down here also next to the tongue. Okay, and then how about some over here? And we do have some like black in there, but let's see here. This, I guess that was supposed to be white right in there, I think. But I filled it in. So I think I'm going to go back and try to take that off. So see if I can't get some of that off with my water. I'm just taking water and trying to use my water to erase that area. This is between the legs. I wasn't really supposed to do that. I just took that color right down. Let's see if we can't get that off. If we can't, we can always take our warm white and fill it in with warm white so it looks like the background. So I'm getting some of it off. See it there? It's looking lighter. This is what I'm talking about with reconstituting. You can do that. So if you have the same problem, maybe you went in that area too, like me. Just be gentle with removing the paint, that you're not scrubbing your watercolor paper because it will just start to tear up the paper. You don't want to do that. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, that looks better. I think I got it. I'm just taking a paper towel, but just dry it good. Okay. I'm going to go back in with my yellow and just darken the legs. So those look much better, don't they? Oh, goodness. Okay, now let's take some of our brown earth. And we're going to bring some of that down into our legs also. Just trying to decide where I want to do that. Maybe right in here on the inside of the legs. I went kind of dark right there, so I'm going to rinse out my brush while it's still wet. Just go back in and kind of lighten and blend that into my leg. Okay, let's do the other side that way too. A little bit on that edge. You can bring some of the color up here, like so. Okay, I'm going to just blend a little bit. Oops. Charmaine, I think I only got one of the bird videos done. So, I mean, when I'm done with the dogs, we'll move into the next book. So we'll be working on those too. Aubrey is very clever and talented. She was amazing. She took her own photos and she used them as reference. And when she was drawing up these lines, she was doing it on my iPad because she didn't have an iPad. And so she was working on my iPad and she was working so quickly. Like, I don't even work that way. I have to like sketch, redo my sketches and sketch some more. And she was just quickly, She had her little stylus and the iPad and working quickly over the design. I was amazed. I don't do it that way. Okay, I'm just kind of darkening this brown a little bit there. All right, let's see here. How about we put some brown on this foot area right here and a little bit up the leg. I'll probably put some black back there too. I had a big droplet go down. Sometimes you have a droplet go right off your brush, drops right into your piece. That's why you always keep paper towels nearby. Oh, and Cheryl says she has the fall book. We are working on more books. We're going to be having some more by the end of the year. So be watching for that. Okay, our next color will be carbon black. It's kind of fun doing this little watercolor blending. I love it. Okay, just a little tiny droplet of black on your palette. You really don't need much. When you're working with washes. Okay, rinse that down or wash that down so it's see-through. Okay, we're going to start where it's darkest. And right now, the nose area is pretty dark. So that's where I'm going to start. Okay. I'm going to bring it up into the bridge of the nose. I'm just kind of following the lines up. It's pretty dark down here. In fact, we'll probably do more with the pencil there. Okay, so I'm bringing it up. And then I want this color to fade here soon. I'm going to bring the sides up a little farther. But the nose, the bridge of the nose, that kind of stops and the sides go up a little darker. Okay, so let's just rinse our brush and soften the edge of the black. Get that to blend in a little more. Okay. And then I think this area right down here is also black. So I'm just going to put that in. This is kind of like in his mouth area. It's all black there. I'm going to do that on both sides. Just meet up with that brown that you put in previously. And then he has black on his coat too. So I'm going to bring it down. We're probably going to work up in that area in just a minute, but I'm going to bring it down here. So let's see. The black in the coat, you know, with the German Shepherd, you can see the like the fur lines almost. You can see the black mixing in with the kind of like the white of the coat, and then there's also brown on the coat. So I'm going to bring that down and then down into his leg a little bit. Let's just fill in the leg like so. But we're going to bring those lines. See how I'm just kind of stroking these coat or these fur lines here. Bring that coat down in there. Okay. And we'll do a little bit on the other side to match. some of those fur lines coming around that corner. They're just little strokes of your brush. Okay, I think I'll just stop there. The chest is going to be the lighter area. Okay. Now we're going to work up the nose. I'm just going to put some dark color right in here. On the bridge there. And then some color kind of in the middle of his forehead. And sometimes they have like a little crease in their forehead there. Just follow that little crease that she put in there. Okay, those I'm not going to worry about blending. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, the eye area is dark. So let's just start out with the eyes, just kind of fill in the eye area first. Okay, now we'll work out from there. So I'm just going to put some darkness around his eyes. This is just kind of loose and free. Put some darkness around his eyes. And bring that to meet up with the bridge of the nose. I'm also going to kind of fill in this area around his eyes. He has kind of like this little, can you see that little area that Aubrey created in his eye area? Right above the eyes, kind of like the eyebrow area. Okay. And I'm going to bring this black up on the sides a little bit more than I had before. So a little more there and a little more on this side too. And then moving up to the ears, let's start at the tip of the ears. That's black. Let's do that on both sides. Tip of the ear is black, blended into the brown. Yeah, I'm going to do kind of like that kind of thing. Just blend the edges. Now inside his ears is black, so you can kind of see some of the inside right in this area right here. So that would be darker right in there. There's some sheen that's showing through on the YouTube channel, so hopefully you can see that okay. The water is needing to dry still. Okay, that kind of like finishes up the main markings that we have on this dog. And we'll go in and enhance it with our color pencil in just a minute. Are you talking about, Cheryl's asking which one are we doing next? Are you talking about which book were we doing next? I might have to do a little poll to do that because I don't know. We have lots of different books we could do. Like Charmaine says, so we have the bird book, there's a sea life book, there's a fall book. There's more than that. I can't remember all of them. A Christmas book. Lots of books. Maybe I'll put it as a poll on our Paint and Pencil with Us, and you guys can vote which one you want to do next. And then, like I said, it's about twice a month that I'll be doing these books. So you can tune in. The other times will be other projects that we are promoting. At the end of the month, we'll be doing Strawberry Summer, which is this one. This one. Can't really see it, but it is a pencil holder. So we're doing this at the end of the month, and that's a 2-part session. So it's going to take 2 weeks to get that one done. Our watercolor books, we just do a page each session. Okay, I'm going to dry this so we can move into our colored pencils. He's got a good base for him. I think he's going to be a fun, cute dog. For our German Shepherd mix. A little more to dry there. You can see my watercolor paper curls up a little bit. You can just give it a shot of heat on the back and it will lay back down. Okay, our next thing is our color pencils. Now we have those 4 colors: sienna brown, black, poppy red. Let's start out with our poppy red and work on the tongue. Now, I'm a whimsical artist, so not everything I do is true to life. I live in a whimsical world. And so I usually bring that in with the dogs, and anything I do, I do my own little flavor. So I hope you enjoy that. Okay, I'm going to do some shading at the base of the tongue with my poppy red pencil. This is my dark value. I'm using a little more pressure there. Okay. Hi, Sandy. Watercolor Willows books are Christmas, fall, birds, sea critters, dogs, and flowers. Thank you, Sandy. I forgot about the flowers. We do have the flower book too. Lindy does the flowers and the sea life and the birds. And you know, now that I think of it, she actually wanted to be the one to do the painting on those. So Charmaine, she has already started that. I'm just remembering this, sorry. She just started that, and if you go to her YouTube channel, let me find it so I can tell you what her YouTube channel is. Let's see here. Lindy. I think it's Lindy Lou Studios. Maybe Lindy Lou Studio. Yeah, it's Lindy Lou Art Studio. go and subscribe. She'd be tickled. So she has a few bird books that she's already done so far. It looks like, or bird pages that she's already done. She's done the cardinal, the blue jay, the hummingbird, the owl, and the robin. So she has a few on there. The dove, she's done the dove too. And she uses watercolor pencil and water to do hers. So that's kind of a fun combination with the watercolor pencil and water. So please go like her channel and you can watch her work on her books there. Yeah, we were talking about it. She said, I kind of want to do my book. So I was like, okay, sounds good. So she's going to do those. And like I said, she works with watercolor pencil. That's her forte, the watercolor pencil. I use acrylics and color pencils. That's my forte. Okay, so you have these little lines. I'm kind of just going over those a little bit. So a little bit of shading. So I did the dark value, medium value, and then the light value just blends right into the background. You're using hardly any pressure on your pencil. Just let it blend right in. Okay. You spell her name with Lindy, and then Lou is LU, Art Studio. Lindy Lou Art Studio. And she doesn't, I don't think she really talks on her. She just works and you just follow along. All right. Cute, huh? He's turning out cute. Got the red done. Let's go in with our sienna brown pencil and work on our brown areas. I'm going to find my brown pencil. Sienna brown, where are you? There you are. Got a little bit of a pencil left. You want to use a sharp pencil. Let's go back in and we're going to repeat our shading on our tongue. So we're going to go back into the darkest areas. We're putting another layer or another color over our red just to tone down the red a little bit so it's not so bright and bring some more shadow in there. So I'm not going to cover all of my red pencil. I want to leave some of that there, but I'm going to work on the darkest areas. But I also, too, same thing, I want to let that blend as it comes down into the tongue. So more pressure where you want it darkest, less pressure where you want it light. Use circular motion, overlap your circles, little small circles that are overlapping. And you can see Lindy, she's got the cutest, she is a great artist too, and you can see it in her work. It's amazing. So have fun enjoying her work too. Okay, so that was the start of our sienna brown pencil. It's just repeating the brown on the tongue or repeating the darkest areas on the tongue. Go back to my German Shepherd here and get my... Okay, so we're going to start up here and do some shading. I'm not going to shade right up here against the edge, but I'm going to shade up against the black. So my darkest value will be right up against the black and then move it down above the eye. So I'm just using a circular motion and bringing that color down. And you're going to see some texture from the watercolor paper, and that is totally fine. Don't fight it, just enjoy it. You're bringing character into your piece and bringing it down. around the eye, like so. Okay. And then let's do the same right in this area, down the bridge of the nose a little bit. Just kind of the top of the bridge. I want to leave this a little bit lighter in there. We'll do the other side the same way. Just a little bit down into the bridge of the nose. And then we're going to fill this area in here too with some brown. Little circles overlapping each other. Let it fade as it comes around the eye. Now we're going to do something tricky, something fun. We're going to take an eraser. It's nice to have an eraser that has a chisel edge to it, like a sharp edge. Sometimes people will actually cut their erasers to have a nice sharp edge. So we're going to go in and just erase right above the eye so we can leave some lighter color there. Wipe that off. And also over here, just above the eye. A little trick. And then also I talked about kind of keeping this upper area a little bit lighter. The sun is coming down. So I'm erasing some of that brown there too. I took a little bit too much off, but I want a little halo of lighter color up there. Okay, we're going to bring the brown down into the face a bit. And then let it fade down here. Less pressure, let it fade. And some on the other side in your brown areas. He's starting to take shape. Okay, now with this area right here under the eyes, I do want to deepen that a little bit, but I do want some of that yellow showing through. So I'm going to sharpen my pencil again. Make sure it's nice and sharp. And we're just going to add a little bit of our brown color here and there. So I'm just using like my light value, just adding some brown, but I want some of the light color to show through too. So see how that I did that? I just kind of added the brown here and there. And if you want, you can always go back with your eraser and erase a little bit to kind of get it to blend a little more. Okay. Now let's bring the brown down into the coat a little bit. Just gonna add some lines down here. Go ahead and line around the bottom of the tongue. And you can add some of that middle line in there on the tongue. It went a little too dark with my lines. I'm going to soften that. Okay, let's go down to the legs. We need a little bit of shadowing right here where the legs meet the body. And I'm bringing the color down the inside of the legs. And also a little bit on the end of the toe there, the foot. Okay. I think that's good for our brown. That was our sienna brown pencil. Okay, the next color is our, I was thinking of our gray, but I don't know. Let me see. No, I don't want to use that. I think I want to put some white right in this area later, but we'll do that with paint. Okay, we're just going to use our black pencil next. We'll start up at the ears. We're going to deepen the black color at the tip of the ears. Bring that in. And let's work on the inside of the ears. Let's get that nice and black. And let that fade as you come down from the ear. Our daughter had a German Shepherd mix, and he was the smart. She was the smartest dog. These little ears have little tips on them. Okay, deepen the tips of the ears. Bring the color up and into the ear. Make it nice and dark in there, in the middle of the ear or inside the ear. Let that fade as it comes down. And then bring some color up the side of the ear. Okay. Okay. Okay, this area right here, let's darken the middle of it. And then just pull the shading out from there, but let it lighten up as it moves out. So kind of like that, just darkest in the middle. Yes, his fur looks furry. Oh yeah, Charmaine, is the watercolor paper. Yeah, watercolor paper is a good thing, especially the cold pressed. Makes it have some texture going on. Okay, now the eyes. The dog I'm looking at has pretty strong markings on the eye. So this area right here, I'm going to go dark right up here, like in the eyebrow area. Get that nice and dark. And then as you come down to the eye, then you can kind of put more black over that eye and then just let it fade. So bring that color over your eye and then kind of let it just fade. Now I am going to put some darkness right here, kind of like under the eye. There's some markings there that are dark. So I'm going to put that in there. And you can make the whole eye black, nice and black there. You can kind of see the eye there. Okay, bring the color at the corner from the eye down the bridge of the nose, the corner of the eye, and then kind of bring that dark color down the bridge of the nose a little bit. And then we're going to deepen the sides here on the bridge of the nose. I'm going to try to keep this area light in here. You can bring some of the black up into the bridge a little bit, but try to keep it fairly light. We're just working down the sides. His nose just popped out. Okay, and then he has kind of like the smile right here in the darker areas here. It's dark right in here. Let it kind of fade as it goes up the cheek. Okay, and then we're going to bring that darkness down to the mouth. You can leave a little line. See how I left a little line right there? You can leave some of that so we have a little separation between the nose and the mouth area. Okay. And now his nose, the top of his nose is lighter than the bottom of his nose or the sides of his nose. So I'm going to fill this in first, this area of his nose, the nostrils. I'm going to fill that in. And then the top area of the nose, I'm going to go in with a light value and just work across the top of the nose like so. So it has a little highlight there. And actually all this underneath the nose is all dark too. You know how German Shepherds are pretty. They got a pretty dark nose there. We will put some highlights in to help with that later. Bring in the darkness here on the side. Okay. He also has a little more of a shadow on the tongue, just right, like if it's right underneath the nose. There's a little more shadow there going on. Right, he's coming along. Okay, let's see here. Let's put some shading right under this little section of his coat. Kind of let that fade down into the sides there. Let's do some over here too. Okay. And then on his back, this is definitely dark back here on the back. You starting to see some German Shepherd? Okay, and then on his back leg, we're going to make that dark right up at the top of the leg and then let it fade as it comes down the leg. Put a little around his toe. I'm just kind of doing some line work. Separate this area. And we can do a little line work here. Not too dark. And then on the inside of his leg, each leg, you can add another layer of shading there. Okay, and we'll work with some white, warm white to work on that. I'm just putting some toes or little paw there. Okay. I'm lining down the outside line edge of his leg. A little bit more shading down this right side. Okay. I think we are done with our color pencil work. We'll just go back in with a little bit of paint to finish it off. Yeah, he looks cute. I'm going to use my Josania Fast Drying Glaze Medium to set my pencil work and my paint that I've already done. You just shake this up real nice. Put it in a little mediums dish. A few drops there. You want your 3/4 inch wash brush oval wash. You want to make sure it's nice and dry. Don't have any water on your brush. Should be nice and dry. And I'm just going to put this on. This is an alternative to spraying your piece with fixative. I have asthma. I don't like to use a spray if I don't have to. So I just go gently across. If I'm very careful about not using too much pressure or overworking this medium, I will avoid smearing it because it can smear your colored pencils if you use too much pressure. So I even see a little bit there. So I'm going to rinse off my brush and take out the excess water. I don't want any water there. Okay, and you can go back and kind of erase anything that might look like it's smeared. There. Got a little bit there. So that's really important not to overwork your piece. Don't use any water. Or don't use a wet brush. Just put your brush right directly into the medium. Okay, I think I'm okay. And you'll avoid smearing that way. Okay, I'm going to give it a shot of some heat. This will protect your piece when you go in with more paint. If you need to remove any of the paint, then that helps too. Okay. He's looking cute. He has some personality, I think. Yes, absolutely, German Shepherd. He's looking like it. Cute, cute. Okay, we need warm white. Hold on for a second. Okay, we got the compressor taken care of. The compressor started and so I turned off my volume really fast. Sorry, you guys.
So the tow truck's going to be here in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Okay.
Tow truck's coming for our car. Okay. Let's move this. Okay. Life, yes, life. Okay, so that's what happens when you have your studio out in the garage. You're next to the compressor. I told my husband, I was like, do we really need that thing? He's like, yes. Okay. One thing I noticed with the dog that I was looking at, it had brown eyes. And I've noticed that about German Shepherds. Sometimes they have brown eyes. So I'm going to use a little brown in my eye. I'm going to try to be careful about it because last time I did this, it didn't look so good. So I'm going to try. Just take a dollop of brown, just put it right in this area here of the eye. Not be careful not to go overboard. It's easy to do. Okay, that helps. I can see some of that brown there. Okay, just like at the bottom of the eye. It's like a highlight of brown there. We'll take some of our warm white, and I just have a little on the tip of my brush, a little warm white. And let's put some highlights in the eyes. I'm just going to put a little bit on the corner there of the eye. And I'm going to just play around. I'm just going to put a little bit more in my eye. See if that does anything. Almost makes him look worried. He's like looking to the side. What's going on over there? Okay, maybe I need to rethink that. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to try again. So how about we do white across the top of the eye like so. Oops. Now he looks surprised. We'll put a nice little highlight dot right in there. So, see if this works. If it doesn't, we'll just have to start over and try again. Okay, little, let's see, highlight dot right there. How about that? Nope. It's not doing it, is it? Okay. I'm going to try again. This is what artists do. We just keep trying. Okay, I'm going to just fill in this area. Try again with my brown. I need some black in there because if you do all brown, it starts to look artificial. So Some black at the top of the eye. Okay. And it's still wet, so I'm just going to leave it, and we'll come back to it, put our little highlight dot in there. So basically it's brown at the bottom of the eye, black at the top of the eye. Okay, let's put a little bit, I'm just going to mix some of my brown earth with some warm white to create a light brown. So I can put some of that at the top of his nose. A little bit of a highlight up here on the top of his nose. And then I'm going to bring some more in this area. I know his nostrils are nice and black, so I'm just going to work around the nostrils a little bit. Okay, so I'm just like dabbing in some highlights. This is kind of a lighter brown. I'm going to add some more warm white to my light, just my dirty brush. I'm going to show you here. To my dirty brush. So this is the original cup brown. I'm just using the light brown. I'm going to add a little more warm white to create a light brown. And we'll go back in and brighten up those highlights a little more. I'm taking off some of the paint on my paper towel, so I don't have too much paint. Just going to add a highlight, brighten up the highlights a little bit around the nostrils. And at the top of the nose. Cute. The highlights working in layers like that, it makes it look a little more, doesn't look so plastic. It looks more real or natural, more natural. That's probably a better word to say. Just looks more natural when you use layers to your highlights. Even your shadows, they look a little more natural. Okay, a little brighter as I go. There's another bright highlight. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's pretty darn good. Just I added a little more warm white to my brush and just the top of the nose, a little bright highlight there. Okay, now let's rinse off our brush. We don't have a whole lot left. We're just going to put some nice warm white highlights. Now I'm taking some of the color off my brush and I'm going to put, say I have a little warm white on my brush, okay? And it's just warm white. I'm going to put some highlights on the tongue. Just dab some highlights down the tongue so it looks like it's wet. You can just add them here and there, okay? Actually, I'm going to do some right here. So just a few, just to make it look like it's wet. And that is just warm white. Okay. You can even go back to your nose and add a tiny little bit more warm white. And that will brighten it up even more. Just a tiny bit right there. Okay, and then his chest. Let's put a little bit of warm white on the chest to brighten up that fur in the front. And I'm just dab, dab, dab. Touch, touch, touch. You can bring some of it into the fur if you want, like just some strokes into the fur, like so. But you want it nice and bright right at the front of the chest. Got some right there. I'll have to go back over with my pencil. Okay. Let me look on this reference photo. Let's put a little bit at the top of his head, right in this area here. Just dab, dab, dab. Okay, back to the eyes. We just want a little tiny highlight dot in those eyes. I think I'm going to put mine right there. Let's see how it looks. Oh, that's much better. Okay. I think we're good for today, guys. I hope you had fun with your dog. Creating your German Shepherd mix. Hope you enjoyed that. Well, we are done for today. I was going to show you how to do the gluing. Maybe I should do that really quick. Okay, let's get a panel. I wanted you to know you can also purchase extra panels if you want. We do have those. Dale, could you get me a 4x4 panel? Well, actually, I'll do it on the back of this. I'm going to do one on the back of this one. I have a block that I'm going to do that on. You can also purchase blocks, but we'll do it on the back of this German Shepherd. We'll put him down, okay? Oh, thank you, Charmaine. I'm glad you are here. Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, let's use some PVA adhesive and put that down. Oops. You want a nice dollop of PVA adhesive to your piece. Okay. I'm looking for my spreader. I gotta stand up and look around here. It's around here somewhere. Well, I can't find my normal spreader I like to use, so I'll just use this one. It's just a room card, room key. Okay, you want to bring it all the way to the edge, all the way around. PVA glue is a bookbinder's glue. It works really well with paper and adhering to wood. So get it as even as you can. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but just try to make sure you go edge to edge. Okay. All right. Now you take your piece and carefully lay it down. Oop, I got to look at the other side first. So I don't want to do it upside down. I want to do it right side up. So this way, like so. Before you do your gluing, you can put another coat of fast drying glaze medium over it, and that will just create a nice barrier coat. So if you get any glue or other paint on your piece, you can wipe it off easily. I'm just doing this quickly for you, so I'll be careful. But you'll see that the paper is now starting to soak up the glue, and it curls as it soaks it up. So you'll just be reminding it that it needs to lay back down. That this is part of the process. It will just do that for a few minutes. Sounds like our tow truck is here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back. Make sure you don't have any glue on your fingers. You can take some saran wrap and put it over your piece too. I don't have any saran wrap right here, but I do have some palette paper. So I'm just going to lay that down and press. I'm going to lift it back up and see it shifted a little bit. So I want to shift it where it needs to be. Make sure it's in the right place. There might be a little bit of overlap on your edges. That's okay. You can sand that off later once it's all dry. Thank you, Charmaine. I know. Good luck on the car repair. It's so fun. It's my favorite thing. For one, it's hard to find a good mechanic that you can trust. And then two, it's expensive. Okay, so I think I got it where I want it. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to just keep pushing down here. I think it's good. Hello, Lisa. We're just gluing our piece to a piece of wood. This is watercolor paper being glued to a piece of wood. And I'm just pressing down, pressing down. Now this process takes a good 5 minutes or more, maybe a little bit more. But you want to make sure that if you have any leakage of the paint of the glue, or any glue that's oozing out the edges, that you pull that off. And you want to make sure that you don't get it on the top of your piece. So see how I'm just kind of changing my paper so I'm not adding glue to my piece. Oh, that's great, Charmaine. I know it's so nice to have someone that worked with you for a while. That's so good. Oh, you're heading to Tahoe. How fun, Gail. How fun is that? Get some sun. Okay, I feel like I really like where it's at. The positioning is good. I'm just going to hold it for a few more minutes because I want to make sure it's nice and solid before I move it around again. I'm going to flip it over and put it on its front and then put something heavy on it. And I don't want it to shift once I do that. So you want to make sure it's nice and solid on your piece of wood before you do that. You don't want any shifting. And then after it's all glued, like what I like to do is leave it for a few hours or even overnight. And then the next day come back out and sand off the edges. And then you can paint the edges and paint the back. I like to use a stencil to do fun designs on my blocks, especially. Sometimes on my panels too. Okay, so you'll notice that PVA glue, it's almost like that piece of watercolor paper becomes part of your wood. It's so amazing. So you just want to make sure it's all good all the way around. Everything's good. It's not going to shift. Make sure this is clean. There's nothing there that's going to ruin your piece. I can put it down, face down, put my paper back over it, and put something heavy on it, like a book. Let me see if I can find my book. Or I have this stuff. I'll use this. This is my Pantone. I'll put that. My Pantone colors. I'll put that down, and I'm praying nothing shifts. Sometimes I have to do like a double check, make sure nothing's shifting. It's all good. Okay. All right. Then it will sit there for a few hours while I wait. You got to be patient because you don't want to sand off the edges when it's still wet. If it's still wet and tender, you're just going to tear your watercolor paper to shreds. You're going to end up ruining your piece. So make sure it's nice and dry. That's why I recommend just overnight. Just leave it overnight. And then the next day you can come out and use an edge sander to sand the edges down off your piece. The watercolor paper is pretty thick, so you want to sand that down and then And then you can finish your edges of your piece with a paint color or however you wish. It's really fun. And you can finish everything off with the varnish. Josanya makes a beautiful varnish. It's indoor, outdoor. It comes in 3 different sheens. It comes in matte, satin, or gloss. And you just apply that. I like to do 3 to 4 coats and let each coat dry in between. You'll have a nice finish for your piece and it will stay true to color. You won't have problems with, you know, smudging or anything like that, and it will last for years to come. It's a great varnish. She uses it on all her heirloom pieces, which is amazing. So, amazing varnish. You want to try and find that. I do have some, like I'll just show you, like this is the gloss varnish. I do have some on my website, and I even have smaller bottles on my website if you want to just have a little bit. Okay, a little reminder. Let's look at my dates here. So, little reminder. Coming up next Thursday, I will be doing part 1 of the strawberries. Let me just pull this out so you can see it better. So, part 1 of the strawberries next Thursday, and this is called Strawberry Summer. Please join me. If you purchase the Bristol Butterfly packet off my website, you can receive the e-pattern free for this Strawberry Summer. It's a wonderful companion piece to the Bristol Butterfly. And this piece is so great. It's $12.95 to get the wood piece. And it has 19 holes for your colored pencils. So a fun little piece, you guys. It's going to be next Thursday. If you if you're new to me, you haven't subscribed to my email list, go do that on my website and you'll get a notice that this is coming up and all the supplies you need and everything. So it will give you a little reminder. Please go check that out. And in the meantime, please like and subscribe to my studio if you're enjoying what you see here. We'll be on every Thursday. So let us know what you think. This is 2 parts. There'll be the 25th, and then we're going to have to skip a little bit, a week. Oh, I think we're going to do it on the 29th. That's right. 25th and 29th. So we have to do this on a Thursday and a Monday to finish it up. But really fun, and all the information's on my website. So check it out. I will talk to you soon, you guys. Thanks for being on. I so enjoy being with you every Thursday. Talk to you soon. Toodaloo.